Hello, welcome to a new problem video. Well, this problem is called 151 reverse words in a string, and it is a medium problem on LeetCode. I'm not sure why it's a medium problem. I'm not sure why, but it has a 6,000, 4,000 like dislike ratio or, or counter or whatever. Um, so yeah, it's pretty interesting, but let's go through this and solve it, right? So this is my first time seeing this problem. As you can see, I have not finished this yet at all. It's part of the LeetCode 75, which I'm doing right now. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so given an input string s, so we first know that our input's going to be a string s named s, and we need to reverse the order of the words in s. So I guess let's see. So the output is going to be a string s, but reverse words in s, I guess. That kind of rhyme. That's kind of cool. All right, so it also says a word is defined as a sequence of non-space characters. The words in s will be separated by at least one space. So to note, words will be separated by space. That's actually a good question to ask also, even though it's common, I'm not sure if it's a good question, but it's common sense that words are separated by spaces. But who knows? Maybe that the interviewer will give you like a very vague question, such as given an input string s, reverse the order of the words. Like, okay, so I'm just given a string s. I'm supposed to reverse it, but what's the contents of s? I think what are the contents of s is like a good question. So we could say like question and answer. Um, what are the contents of string s? And then they'll just say words separated by spaces. I'm pretty sure they'll say that. And then even though it's already given here, return a string of the words in reverse order concatenated by a single space. So that's kind of worded like very strangely. That's kind of confusing to me. But I would just say return a string of s um, with the words reversed, and the words are spaced out with the space. Okay. All right. So note that S may contain leading or trailing spaces or multiple spaces between two words. The return string should only have a single space separating the words, not include any extra spaces. Okay, cool. So that's fine. Nothing that I have to worry about. But honestly, we just go ahead and go through some examples of this problem. So just say that example one, we have our input to be, um, I like cheese, right? So then the output would just be, cheese I like, or cheese like I, right? That'll be the whole solution, right? What about example two, where it's the same string, but there's like leading spaces, I guess. So I like cheese. Right. Like, what would the output be? It'll be the same thing. We have to ignore leading spaces, so it'll be cheese like I again. We'll probably have to do some code to like fix that, I guess, to remove the trailing spaces and stuff like that. But well, anyways, so let's go get started on some approach that we can do. Now that we've already gone through some examples, we kind of already know what to expect when solving this problem, which is the input and output and how it's supposed to be outputted, right? That we're going to get the input s and then reverse the words in s and return that, right? So let's go over some approaches we can do. One thing that we can do is we can just use dot reverse method in Python. Um, basically, reverses all words and list, basically. Or what we can do is number two is that we can do two pointers. Um, swap, yeah, have left and right, and swap left and right values with each other, right? And then yeah, that's only two approaches I can do, or I can think of. One thing that I'm not sure of is what you call it? Do I need to do any sort of code? So questions for myself, I guess. Notes, I guess. Do I need to do any string method code, string method code um to solve when leading or trailing space? That's a good question for me to have for myself. We'll see once we go into the code, I guess. I guess I can do it both ways, but just for now, just for testing purposes, right? I know that's gonna be pretty easy. I don't think I need a plan because my plan's basically my approach, but with some pseudocode, I guess. Let's go ahead and make a main, and let's go make a function called reverse words to take an s, right? Let's just say that our first example, because I want to see if I want to see if I do need to do any code. Let's say s is equal to space 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 space. I like cheese space space space. It's like yeah, and then we are just going to call reverse words with s, and we're going to print out that value. So now what we want to do. So first off, we know that s is a string. We want to return it reversed. We can't really mutate a string, so I have to turn it into a list first. So s is equal to words. Oh, s not split actually. There you go. I think that should work, right? Or isn't it just it's not split, right? Because doesn't split turn it into a list already? I'm pretty sure it does. So then we just have to return s dot reverse. We have to dot join s dot reverse. So pretty sure that should work, right? I think that should work. So let's see if that works. Can only join an iterable. Isn't s that split turns into a whole list? An s. Let's just see what happens. I like cheese. Okay. Then we can do s. Then we can do does that have to be s dot reverse? Does it say s is equal to s dot reverse? Is that do we have to do that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so s dot reverse, and then I think once you print out s, it should just be the reverse, right? How it works. Okay, cool. So I'm right on that. So what we can do is just we can just join s and then remove this print. Geez, I like. Oh damn, but we're also supposed to join s. Oh, yeah, it joins them together. But can we do that join and then but separate it? So that join, but with spaces. You need to join with a space, not an empty string. Really? Is that how it works? Wait, so why does that work? I'm actually kind of confused. But I guess that does work. Um, it's kind of interesting. I have no clue why. 'Cause, 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 It's actually really interesting. So yeah, this does work with trailing and leading. I think trailing and leading are the same thing. With trailing leading spaces, but you get the point that there's like a lot of spaces here, and it just ignores it basically until we get a word. That's cool. So that's one way to solve it. Um, I'm just gonna put this in LeetCode to see if it. I'm pretty sure it will work, but we'll see. I'll run it. Okay, so it does work. That's cool. But let's do it in the 2.0 way now. So I guess we can do def reverse words to s. All right, so let's do it in 2.0 right now. So um a two pointer. So I'm pretty sure it's medium because they want us to do it in two pointer. They don't want us to use like pre-made functions from our language that we use, right? So I think for this one I gotta make a plan. So let's go make a plan. So in order to use the two pointers, we have to have a left and right. So we have to basically initialize two pointers, which is basically left and right. But before that, I actually want to make our string into a list, just like before, just like how we did it in the original function that we made. So I'm going to say that s is going to be equal to a list of words, so s dot split. Um, and then from there, turn cast string into list of words. And then from there, what we can do is that we can, yeah, once we turn into once we turn into a list, now we have the whole length of the string. So we can say left is equal to 0 and right is equal to length of s minus 1. Then from there, we're going to iterate to reverse words and list. We can just say while left is more than right, we're going to basically swap. So I guess we're going to say like s at left and s at right are going to swap with each other. So it's going to be basically like s is equal to s left is equal to s at right. S at right is equal to the value at s at left. And from there we can increment left by 1 and decrement right by 1. So they keep going. And they're going to basically keep on going, reversing each other until we is that how it's going to work? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work. That's literally reverse, right? So, and then from there, what we can do is we can return s as string. So we have to say return with a space dot join s, right? Basically it, right? So what we can do is we can just basically copy that plan word by word actually. So s is going to equal to a splitted list of words, and then we're going to initialize left and right pointers. So left and right to 0 and length of s minus 1 because lists are indexed by 0, right? And then we have to iterate to reverse the words in the list. So I say while left and is less than right. Oh, I thank God I caught that. We're going to basically swap them. So it's at left, s at right. They're going to be swapped with each other. So I say s at left is now equal to s at right, and s at right is equal to s at left. Then we have to increment left by 1 and decrement right by 1. And then from there, we can safely say that they're all reversed. So now we can just return the string, right? So hopefully this should work. So boom. She's like I. All right, so that does work. So let's just see if it actually works in LeetCode. It should work. So run and slower. Submit. That's slower, but it's fine. So to review this, let me write it down here. So review complexities. So to review it, both are O of n time. I can say that the dot reverse is a runtime of O of n. So we're going through all the elements in the list. And then for 2 pointers, runtime is O of n as well. Because we're basically going through all the elements in the list to solve this problem by using the 2 pointers to point to each element in the list, basically. Um, and for the space, let's see the space. Space. I think both are, let me see. Both are O of one extra space. The reason for that is because for the reverse, we're not really, well, actually, no, no, we're using O of n extra space because, we're using dot split, which turns the string into list. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're both using dot split, so worst case O of n and O of n for both problems. So yeah, that's my solution for this problem, and I can understand why it's there's a lot of thumbs down for it because this is really easy for a medium problem, I guess. And it's kind of stupid because we can just say dot reverse, and then in the actual workforce, we'll actually just use dot reverse instead of making our own algorithm to reverse the list. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.